The EJH British Cars. Well, we had a little bit more work to do on the truck today, the 65 Chevy pickup. So I got to bring it in on the lift, and we're going to try to replace the pinion seal on the rear axle because it's been weeping. So let's get started.
Well, here's the rear axle. This is a 3/4 ton truck, so this is a fully floating rear axle. It's a banjo type, which means that this bolts on it has all the gear sets in it. So the seal is underneath this water shield. So the first thing I'm going to need to do is drop this drive shaft out of here. So I've got the 4 nuts off of these hoops, and you also notice that I've marked the drive shaft and the yoke so I can get it back around the same way. So we need to get these hoops loose now. I got that over and I just tied it off up here so it would stay out of the way. This is a 2-piece drive shaft. I want to take all that other stuff apart. There's a cotter pin in here to get that off, and then a big socket and an ear impact to get this nut off of here. It's an 1 5/8 socket, and it's kind of jammed in tight. This socket, if it really was right, I probably would grind it off a little bit, but it got it in. There we go. That's a big sucker. I don't think this has ever been apart since it was built in 1965, so that's not bad. 70 years. I set the yoke so that this was facing straight down. So hopefully I can get all this back together the same. As you can see, it started to drip. Let's get that off. That's where the seal's held as well. So the seal's actually 2 pieces. I don't know how well you can see this, but there's a felt packing here and then this seal. And to get this seal out, what I'm doing is I'm going under the felt and over that and going way in the back and then hitting it with the hammer, and that's moved it pretty easily.
I hit it out to my local bearing company, and that had the parts we needed. So the felt seal, which is really just to keep crap from the outside coming in, is a National Oil Seal M5 for Mary 89. And then the actual grease seal is the TCM 259344, P for Paul, T for Tom, A for Apple. And that's it there. So while I went in for lunch, I set the felt seal into the bucket of gear lube so it would soak, and it seems to have done that. So getting ready, I've cleaned up this seal carrier, and I'm going to install it. So the felt seal goes in first. It just pushes in. That's no big deal. And then we'll have to tap the new grease seal down. So this is going to go in. It's going to feel weird because you're placed basically from the inside out. So that lip has to face towards the oil. So it's going to go in with this semi-closed side down, with this fully closed side up, which is normal, opposite from normal oil seals, but that's how it goes. You can see that both of those seals are leaning in that way. So it goes like that. And I think that'll probably just tap in. Yeah, it's kind of bouncy here. I may have to go do this on the anvil, so we'll get back to you in a minute.
So you're going to want to install this collar into that seal plate before you put it together, because to be able to get it to the flange to go into the felt, you have to be able to push it from this side to get it started. So got its serial numbers facing up, or it's probably part numbers. My yellow is facing down. There's the scribe on my pinion shaft, and that's got it on. I'm going to put some Loctite on the bolts, and we're going to have to pull that. It's a 3/4 inch box wrench, and it's about 1 foot long. I'll put 100 pounds on it. And that'll have to be close enough. Alrighty. I don't know how well you can see that, but somebody must have been trying to tighten this up with a punch, and they rounded off all the edges of the castle nut. So, I mean, I cleaned it on a wire wheel, and then I took the grinding wheel to it and got all the sharp ridges off. But boy, that's really weird. I would have understood it if they were going that way to undo it, but it's actually, that's the tighten way. Though I do know, when I got this truck, the drive shaft was unbalanced, and they had wrapped lead weights around the shifter to stop the shifter from vibrating. So it never was balanced. So maybe they thought that was loose and tried to tighten it up or something. I don't know. Anyway, well, it looks like the cotter pin hole is straight across like that. Get this straightened on there, and I don't really have a proper repair manual for this truck. I've got a Chilton's and a supplement, because I guess, you know, the basic manual from Chevrolet was the 63 manual, and they sent supplement outs for each model year after that. I should have taken the wire brush to that before I could go any further. Anyway, the torque's supposed to be 180 to 200 pounds on this big nut, and we're not going to be able to pull that up with a torque wrench, because there's no way that the brakes will hold that kind of torque. Anything about 180 foot-pounds, that's about as much torque as the six-cylinder developed. So I've got a good half-inch drive air gun. It's supposed to be, I think, 350 pounds. So we'll give that a whirl and see how it does. I don't like how that feels. Well, I took a little more time and cleaned everything up a bit. We put it on, and using the air wrench, and installed out right about where this cotter pin's going to go in. I'm using the stop right there. Oh, it's coming through the other side. There it is. Yay. Now you get a drift, and then I'll knock that over. I like to bend those both ways, but there's no way to do that on this, so we're just going to bend it back. I had to tell you, the cotter pin I took out of here, I have a feeling was the original one that somebody reused once, because the ends were broken off. Alright, so we got this all cleaned up. We got the yoke, the yellow here, yellow on the drive shaft there. So those are lined up. Be careful not to knock the caps out. Just need to slide this back in. There's one. Well, there's no grease nipple on it, but I greased it up as best I could from there, and then I just took a flat bar. You probably can't see it, but this ends right there, and get underneath and just pushed it. Pushed back actually pretty easy. That must just be that it was a bit thick. I mean, it's old. Anyway, it didn't really seem to have been jammed up very badly, so I've pushed that into position, and then I'm going to tighten down these caps here. And then after that's done, before we put it down, I'm taking, now that I got a little bit more splines exposed, I'm going to grease up some more up there. I'm just using a little brush and just some wheel bearing grease. One thing I forgot to mention, you want to make sure these caps are sitting inside of those stops right there. Otherwise they won't seat square. And then just go ahead and tighten these up, and probably, I don't know, 25 foot-pounds or so. So the only thing left now to do is check the oil level, which is that plug there, and you want to make sure you use GL, as in gear lube number 4, because these old rear ends have brass parts in them, and anything other than that, the additives will deteriorate the brass. So you could throw any kind of gear lube in an emergency. You know, you broke down on the side of the freeway, you know, that's fine. But once you do that, get it somewhere safe, and then drain that oil out and put GL4 back in, because you know, any gear lube is better than no gear lube. Anyway, pull that off, and then that should be it. So I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share, and we'll see you next time, hopefully with an English car instead of just English car parts hauler. Yeah, I can't complain. It's been a great truck. I've owned it since 1995, so what, 30 years now? It's been a really good truck. Just needs a little bit of love and care every now and then. So we'll see you later.